Well, hello everybody. It's been a long time since I did a video. This is going to be kind of challenging, but so for everyone in YouTube world, this is Adventure Vin. I know some family and friends are tuning in. I just got some unbelievable stories to tell you. So some of you know that I was planning on doing the Trans-American Trail. Let's see if I can get this mic hooked up real quick. I should have done this ahead of time. Just being lazy. All right, let me see. Oh. Okay, we're still rolling. Sorry about that, everybody. So I was planning on doing the Trans-American Trail this summer. That's not working out right now, but you guys are not going to believe this story. And I just got to tell it to you now. So me and my buddy Greg, I'm on a KLR 650. It's outside, it's dark. And my buddy Greg is on a Africa Twin, and we decided to take the California BDR, which is, I want to say back road trails. So we started in Riverside, California. We were going up through Death Valley, and we were going to go through, tomorrow we're going to go to Titus Canyon. But on the way through some of the BDR routes, very sandy, and Greg took a spill. And we got his bike back up, and then a little while later, he took a second one. This time, he impacted, went into a Joshua tree. They were all over the place. Very beautiful ride. And we think he actually fractured his leg. We're looking at it now. That's no joke. We went through all the areas, and there were no reservations to be found. We couldn't find a hotel, a campsite, an RV site, nothing. And it's dark. We're in Pahrump. I can't pronounce it right. It's northwest of Vegas on the way to Beatty, Nevada. We're at a gas station. We're putting on we're taking off our smoke shields, putting on our clear shields because it's 8 o'clock at night and it's dark. This guy named Steve sees us and his son Mark, and they asked us what we're doing. We said, hey, we're just on some adventure riding. Unfortunately, we're not, all the campgrounds are full. We can't even get a hotel room. He invites us, no lie. And the people that know me, my wife and my friends and family that know me, they're like, yep, that's Vinny, that's Vince. And so he goes, well, where are you guys trying to get to tonight? And we're like, we're just gonna find a place in the desert and put our tents up. And so I have a small place. I just live up the road. You're welcome to crash out at our house. This is a huge layout. It's nothing small. This is not a small place. This is what I got to show you guys. Those of you who know my KLR, know that I was in the Army, know that I was an Army Scout, knowing about the KLR 600 air-cooled that the Scouts used. I've always had an affinity for Army stuff and Army motorcycles. Check out what this guy Steve has in his garage. One of like 3 garages he has. Let me flip the camera around. Check these out. These are Harleys. 3 of them are complete. So we got this one here. That one's a complete Harley. He's got one over here. I'm going to show you that shaft driven. This Harley, these are all original World War II motorcycles that he has restored. And his son Mark said he's got like 5 more of them in crates that he's going to restore. But check this one out. So this is a Canadian version. Now on the Canadian version of this World War II era motorcycle, how he was explaining to me is that the front and the back wheel have the same dimensions, the rim, the tires, everything, just by changing some of the braking mechanism and the drivetrain. You can use that wheel. They're interswapped. So that's a Canadian version. Then I'm going to come over to these American. I cannot believe I'm looking at this stuff. I mean, I've seen them in movies. I might have seen them in museums. But look, check this one out. This is an American version, and I think this is the one he said is shaft driven. I think this is the shaft driven one. They're all Harleys. All of them are Harleys. 3 of them are American models. 1 is Canadian, but I think one of the Harleys is shaft driven. And I love this star. If you guys know my KLR, I kind of decked out my KLR to look very militaristic. So there's that. Here's one, he's doing this one. These 3 here, 1 American, another American, a Canadian version. These 3 are all operational. He rides this, Steve rides this in, I almost said fairs. Parade, processional, stuff like that, 4th of July stuff. Steve's never been in the military, but this guy is unbelievable. He has a friend that dropped this one off that he's restoring for a friend. This is just amazing. So when I was talking to his son, Mark, I said, you know, these are great, way rare. He said like 300 of these bikes are in existence today. 300, and he's got 3 sitting right in front of me. 4 if you count this one. And I said, I've always been interested in a Jeep Willys, a flat fender Jeep Willys. And his son Mark goes, well, that's what that is. So this is a Jeep Willys frame that his dad, Steve, I'm gonna place Steve maybe in his mid to late 60s, early 70s. Steve had this flat fender civilian version, 1944 flat fender Willys Jeep, and now they're restoring it. They just showed me in another garage all the parts that the Jeep is gonna be put together with. Now this guy, Steve, in his life, he's owned this since he was 16 years old. He has driven this Jeep all the way to the upper parts of Alaska. Remember, these things ran on 3 years, 3 years. He drove it to the upper part of Alaska. He's taken this Jeep down to Panama. He's been basically all over the Western Hemisphere in this Jeep. I think he's even been back east, like New York, whatever. So this is a flat fender. They're restoring it. Right now, my wife is saying, don't get any ideas. Do not come home with anything. And I'm thinking, I want to come home with it all. Some of you may have seen a video I did when I was moving my sister from Virginia to Oregon, where a guy came up next to the Penske truck in one of these, but he's totally decked out like Captain America. He even has the scabbard, the rifle scabbard that Steve has. There's no rifle in the one that I saw earlier, but this is something he pointed out also. That's the air box. That's where the air filter sits. For the American model was square, and for the Canadian model was round. Canadian model also has a small, what looks like an ammo box attached to the fender. It's not something I'm familiar with my military years as far as what the Americans use, because it's kind of flat. But this American version has, that looks like it's not exactly a 50 cal can. It's a little bit too narrow. It's not even a 223. I mean, obviously this is, depending on what rifle they would have, that would be that's the scabbard for the rifle. It could have been a Thompson, which shot a 45 round, or it could have been an M1 carbine for a motorcycle. But this is just the stuff that I fall into when I'm traveling. This is why I love traveling through America. You know, you find people. The guy just asked, he goes, what are you guys doing? You know, he saw our bikes were all decked out, and I'll do videos or pictures of it. I'll put them on Facebook. But he saw us all decked out, and he goes, and we just said, we don't know what we're gonna do. We're thinking that Greg has a fractured leg, his left leg from the accident, and he's been hobbling around, and thinking we're not gonna be able to put up tents. Now, when Steve was telling us, he goes, I have a small place. I might have a couple of places for you guys to crash out with your sleeping bags. No, this is a huge, huge area. But, yeah, there's another ammo can there. I wish I could talk about the models. I wish I could tell you guys more detail. You know, they all went inside, but yeah, Steve was giving us a great history lesson on it. He was talking about some of the nuances of how these things have to be precisely wired for the gas tanks. They're very low profile. They're very low to the ground. Obviously, I think of Steve McQueen in The Great Escape when I see a motorcycle like this, but the motorcycle he rode when he was jumping the barbed wire, apparently it was a German motorcycle, or at least it should have been, but who knows about what the movies did or didn't do. I want to see if I can see, I can't tell where okay, that one's chain. So there's the chain drive. So it's gotta be this one that's shaft driven. Yeah, I guess that's the shaft, right? Oh man, I can't tell. I can't tell. They're all kickstarts. It might be on the other side. It might be the Canadian version. Look at this weird. No, there it is. That's the shaft. There it is. Yeah, this is the shaft-driven version. I don't know if any motorcycle aficionados can tell that or not. But amazing. Oh my God. I mean, I'll tell you what, if this garage was empty, this garage is freaking amazing. I mean, my wife knows I love to have a garage like this, but I don't have the discipline to keep it clean. It'd be all cluttered up. I hope you guys that are watching this are enjoying it. People that know me, like, yep, there's Vinny out on the road, lost, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night on on a Saturday night with a tent on the back of his motorcycle, not knowing where he's going to sleep that night. Goes into a gas station to change his visor. Next thing he knows, he's looking at World War II motorcycles and has a warm house to stay in. Yeah, this is all quite unbelievable, you guys. I'll get back to the ride later on. I told some friends, I said, hey, you know, pay attention to the channel and be doing some cool videos of our trip on you know, going through Death Valley, and I did some GoPro stuff and I'll get those on. But between what I'm looking at now and people that know me and my wife wondering, where are you going to spend the night at tonight? I'm telling you, RV parks were booked. We shouldn't have left Vegas. We're in Frump or Pahrump or whatever the name, how you pronounce it. And then we were going to go to Beatty. We called hotels, RVs, everyone's booked. And then this is another frame. This is another frame. He's going to be redoing this. I just can't imagine how much time, money, and patience and goes into these type of projects. But unbelievable, beautiful bikes. Just, I don't, like I said, I don't know if I've ever even come close to these. These are actually some of the Jeep Willys parts here, and the other parts are in the other garage. What they're going to do, and they were showing me the brakes, some of the Jeep Willys stuff here. The brakes, they're going to keep the drum brakes, but what they're going to do is when they refit it, they're going to do it probably 12 volt, I'd imagine, and then the brakes and the steering are going to be power. But that's just about it. I'm going to take some still photos because this is just really unbelievable story. I don't know if I'm coming into the shot or not, but I got to go check on Greg soon. Ironically, I guess fortunately, Steve's brother Mark is a paramedic with CAL FIRE, and they're from actually Fullerton area. They got property in Fullerton and Riverside, where I'm from, and they also have this out here in Nevada. But gotta go check on Mark, see if I think it's a fracture, not a break, but a fracture. I have no idea how we're gonna get through tomorrow's motorcycle ride. But let me sign off, and with these in the background, these beautiful bikes in the background, they're probably wondering what the heck is Vince doing in there, but they know I like doing YouTube videos. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, don't forget to get out there and ride. That's my life, people. And you know, Route 66 was a lot of these same experiences. And people think, why do you like going on these road trips by yourself? I mean, why do you just talk to people in the grocery store? Well, this is what I get to experience. This is what I get to do. So very fortunate. This is probably the highlight of my trip. So like, subscribe, get out there and ride. Whatever your passion is. Life is short, life is an adventure. Make sure yours is a good one. And let me end it with this.